Well, good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. Let me start off by saying this is the last day of September. Wow. Why do I say that? Because we are fully immersed in fall. We are into a new season. And for many of us, that means a lot of different things. It's also the last day of September, and 18 years ago today, I was in labor with my youngest daughter. And so today is her birthday. Happy birthday. Shout out to KJ. I got another adult. Oh my God. What does all of that mean to me? So now I have two adults and two teenagers. You all that are praying people, pray for me. Anyway, I want to also give a shout out to all of those who watch my lives, all of those who have subscribed to my newsletter, all of those who have reached out to me and say, hey, I've got this issue, this problem, this concern. Can you help me? Yes, I can. I am so dedicated to the success of those who I connect with and those that I partner with that I am excited about this new season that's coming up. We are going into the fourth quarter of the year. And if any of you all know what happens in the fourth quarter, now, full disclosure, full disclaimer, I am not a football person. I have learned to watch football. It took me 30 years to figure out what a first down was. And my football friends, please don't get me. But on some days, it still don't make sense to me. However, the fourth quarter is the final quarter. We know at the end of 12 minutes, I think it is, or however many minutes a quarter is, we know who has won that game. And we are working really hard at Dr. Ruby E. Powell and Associates at making sure that you win every game that you engage in. And so today I'm going to be talking about how you can win those games. I'm going to be talking about how you can make an impact in this fourth quarter. And of course, you all know I'm all about self-care, but I'm also about uh, creating systems. When you have a process that you need to repeat over and over and over again, do you do it a different way each time? Do you create a new system each time you perform that process? I think about some of my friends that are doctors. Dr. Forrest Robinson watches my lives from time to time, and he has been a physician for many, many years. I think about my own physician. When I go into a doctor's office, there are certain things that they do every time. When I walk in, the first thing when that medical assistant called me back from the waiting room, what's the first thing she does? She takes me to the dreaded scale every single time. She takes my weight. Then she takes me to the room. She takes my blood pressure. She takes my temperature. She examines my oxygen level, and she prepares me for the doctor coming in. She's going to always ask me, what are you here for today? Is it a routine physical, or are you having a problem? Those are things that are done every single time I walk into a doctor's office. Every single time I get ready to do this live, my engineer does a couple of different things that assists me with coming on and making sure that I'm coming across as clear as I possibly can. He makes sure that my lighting is set. He makes sure that my volume is clear. He makes sure that you can see me and hear me. That's what consistency does. And in the midst of us going into this next season or this last quarter of the year, we're going to go into 2023. And we want to go into 2023 with the best possible outcome from 2022. And we often talk about finishing strong. Finishing strong don't just mean that you're going to achieve all your goals. Would achieving your goals be optimal? Absolutely. But sometimes we have to make a mid-course correction. In the business world, they also talk about doing a pivot. We heard that word pivot so much during pandemic that it kind of got worn out. But I like to think of it as doing a mid-course correction. Every quarter, at the end of every quarter, I participate in what's called a quarterly blueprint with experienced leadership, coaching, and training. And one of the things that we do is we talk about what are the things that went well. 5 things that went well in the previous quarter. We celebrate those wins no matter how small they are. We celebrate those wins. And then we think of 3 things that may not have gone as expected. Now, if we were to continue to do those things that didn't go well or that didn't go as we expected them to, do you think we would get a better outcome? Absolutely not. But what we want to make sure that we do is evaluate those things that did not go as planned, make a mid-course correction, develop a system, and create consistency. And so consistency, as many words do, have a number of different meanings. One of the meanings is coming into agreement. What are we coming into agreement with? We're coming into agreement with a system that's going to work for us 99% of the time. It talks about adhering to the same principles. If it works for you the first time, if it works for you the second time, if it works for you the fifth or the 10th time, the odds of it working for you every time increase each time that it works. So you want to develop consistent systems that will help you to succeed every time. So some of the things that I talked about in my newsletter on consistency, and you can go back and watch not listen, but you can go back and read the archives. You can check them out on my Dr. Ruby E. Powell Facebook page or what have you. Or better yet, why don't you subscribe so that you can get it firsthand and you won't have to wait for me to talk about it on the lives. How about that? One of the things that I said in that newsletter is that you have to decide what matters to you. What does that have to do with consistency? If you're continuing to not pay attention to those things that are important to you, chances are you won't feel motivated or compelled to create a system that's going to work consistently. You also want to make sure that you're unapologetic in your pursuit of the life that you desire. Guess what? Who among us don't want to be a multimillionaire or a perfect person that lives on a bed of ease? And I'm going to talk about that in just a second as I usher you into talking about being effortless. Be unapologetic about your systems. I teach a course at the University of Illinois, Springfield, and online. And I've had a few of my 28 students reach out to me and said, "Oh, I missed this assignment. Can you go back to week 1? We're entering into week 8. Can you go back to week 1 and open that assignment again?" And unfortunately, I had to be steadfast in saying, "No, I'm sorry, I can't do that." Did it break my heart? Yes, because I'm an empathic and compassionate person. But what did that mean? I had to be unapologetic with my no, because me consistently going backwards would cause me more work and it would cause my focus to be off of the system that I had created for teaching my course. Then the other thing about consistency is that you have to work towards it daily. It was hard for me to type that no. It was hard for me to say, "I'm sorry, I can't go back and open week 1, 3, 4, and 5 for you to submit that assignment." And I had to make a hard decision to say to that person, maybe you should consider taking this course in another semester. Yes, it was hard, but I had to do it. So guess what? Develop your systems, be unapologetic about your systems, and work towards them every single day. And let's talk about what it means to be effortless. Being effortless means that it's with little or no effort, or that it's easy. Creating systems will cause the life or the systems that you're creating to become easy. It can also cause you to become passive. In my businesses, I use a system that's a automated system, and it sends out my invoices, it sends out my appointments, it allows my clients to schedule appointments online, all of those other things. And it's a self-run system. So me running my business, or the day-to-day operations of my business as a small business, becomes a lot easier if I use that system. But if I'm not careful, it will also cause me to become a little bit passive. Passive and effortless may almost mean the same thing, but when you are in pursuit of your goals, and if you're working hard to be unapologetic in your consistency, you don't want to become passive, because passive could make you lazy. It could make you say, oh, I'll do that later. Oh, I know that my system is doing that. That's not what we want to do. We want to make sure that in our pursuit of excellence and being effortless, that we develop systems that work. So if there's a problem that you encounter, because of course we know that with, and I'm watching my time, I'm sorry. Of course, we know that anytime there's a system, and especially an electronic system, we know that systems work when they work. But when they don't work, what happens? We have to readjust. We have to figure out what's not working, and we have to make that mid-course correction. So whenever there's a problem, find a solution. Be solution focused. That will help us in our effort to be effortless. Be determined to live without regrets. Did I struggle with having to tell a couple of students no? I did. But guess what? If I go back on every student that have a sad story, I'm sorry about the sad stories. I got a couple of my own right now. But truthfully, I had to make sure I was determined to live that without, to do that without regrets, and help them to develop systems in their own life that will cause them or allow them to keep up with their assignments. And then act on those things that you want to do in your life. That will cause you to be effortless. That will cause you to make sure that the life that you're living is the life that you're in pursuit of. I have as many of you all know, I not only have Dr. Ruby E. Powell and Associates, I also have Oasis Empowerment Zone, which is a nonprofit organization that I've been running for about almost 13 years. December 1st will be 13 years. And in this year, I have begun to embark on some new programming, which is a lot more robust than what I've been doing in the past. And it has required me to make sure that I'm determined in the systems that I am operating in. It has caused me to make sure that the systems that I'm using are working. And so, what I want to leave you with today is make sure that you are consistent. Now, I'm very um, almost robotic in how very systematic. I'm just going to say it like that. I would say robotic. I would say inflexible. And next time we're going to talk about flexibility, because that's really, really important. But I have been somewhat inflexible in times past, but developing my consistency has caused me to be a lot more flexible with how I do things. As you know, I'm a wife, I'm a mother, I'm a professor. I just told you about that. I also make sure that I'm running, my businesses to deliver the services to my clients that they expect, and that I enjoy the excellence that I enjoy delivering them. I'm also in ministry. And so, with all of those things, being a pastor with a marriage and family minister, being an elder at my church, and to many of you all, that may not mean a whole lot, but I am dedicated to excellence. Consistency will help you to become effortless. And it will also cause you to ensure that the things that you are doing will be delivered in excellence. And so I'm Dr. Ruby E. Powell. I'd like to invite you to jump over to my website, check out some of the services that I offer. I always have specials running that you may not see on my website. But the one thing that I have every single day of the year is the opportunity for you to meet with me for 30 minutes to work through some of your issues. And believe me, people that have participated in my services have told me I've gotten more in this 30-minute free session than I've gotten in a lot of the paid coaching sessions that I've paid for. And so I want to make sure that I'm always giving you everything that you need so that you can go to your next level of success. So jump on over to Dr. Ruby E. Powell and Associates or drrubyepowell.com and click on that button that says free 30-minute discovery session. I also invite you to fill out that form to get on my mailing list. Now, let me say, I don't spam people. I don't fill up your mailbox with a whole lot of unnecessary stuff. And to be quite transparent, I have unsubscribed from newsletters and other platforms because sometimes I get 2 or 3 emails a day from people. I don't have the opportunity to read them. No shame, no blame for anybody who operates their business that way. That's just not the way I operate. And so I invite you to subscribe to my weekly newsletter at www.rubyepowell.com. And also schedule that discovery session so that we can see what your next level of success looks like going into this fourth quarter. For those that are watching this live, hey, how you doing? For those that are watching the replay, hey, how you doing? I love you, I bless you, and I pray for you daily. I'm Dr. Ruby E. Powell with Dr. Ruby E. Powell Says. I'll see you next time.